When a character is written to criticize another, they don't just oppose the hero, they expose them. They challenge the very foundation the protagonist stands on, not with bigger power, but with sharper purpose. They become the question the story has to answer. Naruto has many villains: Kaguya, Madara, Obito, but the best villain came long before they ever appeared. And no one questioned Naruto harder than Pain. Because Pain wasn't just a villain, he was a narrative answer. Kishimoto created Pain as a mirror, forged not to oppose Naruto's fists, but to challenge his soul. Everything Naruto believed, they never give up, they taught no jutsu, they believed that understanding can fix the world. Pain was written to break it. Pain doesn't just fight Naruto, he dismantles him. Not with violence alone, but by ideology. Because Pain believed in the same dream, he just stopped believing the world deserved it. Both Naruto and Pain were trained by Jiraiya, the man who believed peace could be taught, and both of them inherited that will. But what they did with that will, that's where everything changed. Pain saw war, famine, genocide. He saw the world spit on Jiraiya's ideals. So he reshaped that dream into something brutal. If peace wouldn't come through understanding, it would come through fear, through control, and through shared suffering. The thing about Pain is that he agreed with Naruto's dream. He just stopped believing it was possible. Peace, you need power. Understanding, it's useless without pain. Pain didn't call Naruto naive, he showed it. Every village Naruto defended had blood on his hands. Every hero he looked up to had failed to stop the cycle. And every time Naruto said, "Believe it," Pain replied, "I did, and I got everyone I love killed." He wasn't a villain to be defeated. He was a reality check Naruto had to survive. Naruto's world, the one dreamed of, was built on inherited will. But inheritance is just a starting point. It's not about carrying a dream. It's about deciding what kind of dream it becomes in your hands. Pain wasn't Naruto's opposite. He was Naruto in a world where no one ever reached out. Both were orphans, both dreamed of peace, both inherited, but their bond shaped them or broke them. Naruto had Iruka, someone who saw the lonely kid, not the monster, whilst Pain had Obito, a masked lie who weaponized his pain. Naruto had Sasuke, a rival who reflected his darkness and gave him purpose. Pain had Yahiko, a brother who died in his arms, confirming his worst fears. Where Naruto found connection, Pain lost it. Naruto was shunned, but never forgotten. He still had threads to hold on to. But Pain's light was slowly snuffed out, not in one moment, but piece by piece. This wasn't a battle of good and evil. It was a tragedy of timing, of one who got saved and one who was left to drown. Pain and Naruto are both the same boy, two sides of the same coin, flipped by fate, and one landed in the dark. The fork in the road is this. What if Jiraiya had brought Nagato back to the leaf? What if he had stayed, guided him like he did Naruto? maybe Pain would have become the village's greatest hero, a symbol of peace and not a destroyer. Because the potential was always there, it just needed support and direction. And what if Naruto had been left alone just a little bit longer? What if Iruka never showed up? If Sasuke had never existed? If the village kept turning its back? He might have chosen vengeance too. We saw it in the waterfall trial. That version of Naruto, full of hatred, it was never far away. And that's the power of mentors, of bonds, of true inherited will. Jiraiya gave both of them the same teachings, but one was left to grieve alone, the other was given a hand to hold. The dark truth of inherited wills is they can be unstable and fragile. The same way they can uplift, they can also destroy. Naruto broke under the weight of Jiraiya's dream, whilst Naruto learned to carry it in his own way. But it didn't have to go that way. It could have easily been reversed. Their lives were written in stone. They were etched in choices and shaped by who stood beside them when it mattered the most. In the end, Naruto defeated Pain, but Pain didn't lose, because what he left behind changed everything. Pain believed that true understanding only came through shared suffering, that peace is not born from ideals but from pain itself. And while his actions were monstrous, his message wasn't wrong. He was Jiraiya's student, just like Naruto, but where Jiraiya dreamed of a world that understood each other. Pain was the first to ask the question seriously. How do you end the cycle of hatred when no one wants to stop hating? His answer may have been twisted, but it was still an answer. And that's where the irony lies. Naruto rejected Pain's violence, but not his vision. Because Pain exposed the weaknesses in Naruto's worldview. That believing in people isn't enough. That talk no jutsu only works when you understand the depth of someone's pain. And once Naruto truly felt it, once he lost Jiraiya, watched his village burn, and stood face to face with a broken god, he realized something. Pain wasn't a monster, he was a mirror. And Naruto didn't overcome him by proving him wrong. He honored him by evolving his answer, by choosing empathy over fear, by choosing connection over control. Pain was the incomplete answer to Jiraiya's dream. Naruto became the revised one. Because peace isn't found in pain alone, but without pain, you'll never understand why peace matters. And this comes pivotal in saving Obito later, who is an integral part in defeating Kaguya. And in the end, maybe Pain's method worked better than anyone wanted to admit. As a final reflection, Pain was never just a villain. He was a question, a warning, a prophecy. He didn't break Naruto, he reshaped him. Because Naruto didn't win by staying the same. He won by growing, by understanding, by realizing that some answers don't come from belief. They come from loss, from fear, from standing on the edge of everything you love and asking, what will I do to protect this? And Pain showed him that. And in the end, Naruto inherited more than just Jiraiya's will. He inherited Pain's, the will to unite a broken world, by enemies necessary. But the means this time is forgiveness, even when forgiving seems impossible. Because peace didn't come when Naruto saved the village, It came years later, when the world finally stood together against a common enemy, where they shared one goal, one fear, one pain. And maybe that's also the irony. Maybe pain was right. Maybe it really does take tragedy to bring people together. Because in a world built on cycles of hatred, sometimes the only way to heal is to hurt first. And only when everyone can truly understand each other can peace finally be realized. Who else? That was the video. Thanks you for watching. I pose this question to you. What do you think would have happened if Pain made different choices? Or if Naruto had walked a darker road? Who else in anime do you think was written to criticize another character? Drop your comments down below. As always, comment and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so I really appreciate it if you guys would help me out. But that was the video. All the best. Ciao.